Check one, check one. How you guys doing? You alright? We're here an hour early. We got a 3 hours show, yo. So this is the official nightclub warm-up sessions. A big 3 hours lined up for you. So over the course of the next 3 hours, you got myself alongside Lunacy, head honcho of Night Force Records. And the man, the hair, the legend. Having some fun with that mic. Hello, hello. So I'm going to kick off, playing a few tunes, and then it's going to... Hello, hello. So then Pete's going to step up and do an hour of exclusive Pete Cannon stuff. Yeah? 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 We'll have some of that. And then we're going to do something a little bit different. Chris, Mr. Lunacy, is going to roll through top 5 tunes linked to Nightclub. And we'll have a little bit of a chat about each tune, a little few stories in there. Good sense to all the Night Force crew, out to Paul, out to Robbo, big up yourself guys, hope you're doing good, out to the Baradas. And as always, a like, a share, tell your mates, tell a friend, you know the deal. Bigging up Stefano, yes mate, out to Adam, out to Mr. Bollard, yes mate, all the Wax On crew, out to Mr. Flint. Out to Malcolm, out to the Teacups, yes Tim. Worthing crew in the house. Get a set out of No Not Mixcloud, mate, just on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you can, head over to YouTube or Twitch. Much better audio, better video as well. We care about the music side, right? Right, let's see a little show of hands. Who has already got their Nightclub 2 ticket? Have you seen the lineup? And there's still 2 acts to be revealed. As if it wasn't an insane lineup right now. So let's see a show of hands who's got their nightclub ticket. And if you haven't, I want to see a comment as to why. What are you waiting for? What are you holding out for? Citizen in the country. Right, is that any better? Feels like that's a little bit better. Dodgy Caitlin in the house. Big shout. Trying to work out if this stereo mono conversation's about one person listening or me. If it's me, let me know. I'll try and figure something out. Good to send out to the Dizbish. Yes, Diz, hope you're doing good. Out to the Kieran Lee, big up yourself. Good to send out to the Pugsy, hope you're doing good. Out to Glenn. Out to the Ross. Get a message, send a message out to all those that have shared so far. We've got a 3-hour marathon today as we get warmed up for Nightclub 2, just a couple of weeks away. Once again, big welcome to everyone for the show. Extended show today, 3 hours as we get warmed up for Nightclub 2. September 9th, the Scala. For those of you that are the first one, you know. Can you see out to Sam Morris? Yes, mate. Out to Rebecca RT. Hope you're doing good. Out to Gazino. And also a big shout out to those that looked on to the Mad P interview 2 nights ago. If you missed out on that interview with Mad P, it's on Facebook, YouTube, and all podcast platforms, including Spotify. Got to send a massive shout out to Jody Whiston. I'll pick up yourself, mate. Loved the interview. Been exchanging memories with him this week. Fantasia all the way, baby. Gonna send a massive shout going out to Nemo. Ooh. Goodness, then out to Kimberly, all the way over the other side of the pond, and she's still coming to Nightclub 2. Come on, Mr. Bolland, now you ain't got an excuse now. So this one in the background is DJ Next, which of course is Mark Archer, and this comes from the Next Remix EP, and this is Out the Controls, Ras Kemp on the remix. Right, so you're going to get a couple more tunes from me, then the man like Pete Cannon stepping up. He's got some exclusives for you. Give us out to Titch, out to Casino, yes mate, hope we do again. Out to Dan Walker, bigging up Adam, out to the Chaz, out to DJ Exy, out to Mr. Tom Jackson, out to Thomas, aka Mr. Arthur, out to the Jungle Rhythms, all the Nightclub family. To the TT. Did you forget we'd started early today? Did you forget, TT? Please stay behind after class.
Side
to send a massive shout out to all the sharing crew. Big love to you all.
about to take you into the world of the LSD user.
So these are just some of the tunes that I'm thinking. Nightclub set, baby. But I'm also a bit torn. Do I do a classic set? What do you reckon? Nightclub 2? Do I go new or classics? Do you know what, Casino? This sounds like 108. Do you know what it is? 162. We've got another 18 we can squeeze out of this.
This is Jake, the most ass I've ever seen anybody eat in my life.
Gonna send out to all the multitaskers. Yes, TT. I know you can do it. Gonna send out to Thomas. Knite come to in 17 days. That does sound mad when you say it like that.
LSD user. We are about to take you into the world of the LSD user. We are about to take you into the world of the LSD user.
Right, so I played this one last week. You know what's coming. Flatliner. Tracks entitled Big Bang, originally released Ram Records 1993 back in the day. And it's got a remix. This remix is by New Decade. I was all over this last week. And on the flip of this is going to be an Ant Miles remix. Right, Pete, you ready to step up, lad? Hey.
is absolutely banging. Big Bang, New Decade remix. Oi. Shout going out to everyone in the chat room. Yes, Titch. Big up to Chaz. Oi. I'll keep it down, Jay. Right then, gonna start with a few exclusives. Some stuff I've been working on recently. Bit of hardcore, bit of jungle. Let's see how we sound.
That's hardcore. That's hardcore. That's hardcore.
This one right here, another unreleased one for myself. It's called I Just Couldn't Stop. 3. Yeah, check this next stab. Out of that into this. More newness. Let's go. Yes, Ryan, big up. Cheers, mate. Yes, Andy in the chat room. As I say, just test driving a few new bits. Sounding all right, like. one from myself and DJ Sofa. Coming on M4 Records soon. Oi, oi. Yes, Paul Bradley. Shout to Preston in the house. Oi.
Jungle techno.
Taking it to the dark core. I bought a Mirage sampler last week. Made this a couple of days ago. I think it's coming on Parallax. Let's have a go. the flame emojis. Get in. That Mirage sampler, mate. Jay, have you got that beer? One way to get his attention. Again, some unreleased business. Trying to put an album together. I'll get it done soon. Shout going out to old school hardcore. Cheers, mate. Jungle Rhythms in the house. Yes. Just about got it in. This one, unreleased Enjoy remix, coming soon. Shout going out to Shadow Child. Don't worry, Jay will be back in a bit. He's just doing his hair. As I say, this one, Enjoy remix. An absolute honour to remix him.
Yes, yes.
Yes, so's the rascal. Pick up. Time for a bit of jungle then. Again, another one from myself. The whole hour's going to be this. Unreleased business. Hopefully coming soon on M4 Records. Keep an eye out. Time for the bass. That ain't working on your laptop speakers, is it? Out of that and into this. I think I finished this one yesterday. Don't know if it's finished. Let's see how it sounds. Cheers, Charlie T. Charlie TT. Who's selling the wigs? What's going on? Someone making some wigs. Cheers, Adam B. Big up. Sounds all good.
is simultaneously stretching up and leaning into your set.
Right, this one coming from the top. I've just got this in there. This is a new Amiga one. This is called Stretching Business, and it showcases the time stretching on the Amiga. Have a blast on this.
The paradox is simultaneously stretching up and leaning into your set.
Yeah, shout out to Cool FM as well. You can catch me on the first Wednesday every month. Got my show on there. M4 Records Showcase. Playing bits like this. Sounds raggo.
Stretching across 1 billion miles.
Stretching.
The paradox is simultaneously stretching up and leaning into your set.
What is that stuff called, that stretching business? Stretching across 1 billion miles. Bad boy.
Simultaneously stretching up.
More Amiga business. On Remand remix from myself.
Oops, bad boy.
I'm having it again. Can I rewind my own tune? Yeah. Right, okay, so big shout to DJ Pulse, Creative Wax. This one, On Remand remix, coming on vinyl really, really soon. Keep an eye out for it. As you can tell, done on the Amiga.
Oops, bad boy. Bad boy. Bad boy. Bad boy. Bad boy.
Bad boy tune. Bad boy tune.
Yes, Paul. Nice one, mate. Test presses are in. Should be out soon.
Bad boy tune.
Shout to Malcolm. Shout to Adamski. Four on the second drop.
Bad boy tune. Bad boy tune.
Bad boy.
Bad boy tune.
Bad boy.
Right, we're taking the next one from the edge, from the top. This one, I don't know if I've played it out before. This is an alternate remix coming soon. Big shout going out to Mark Archer. Here we go, get your heads on it.
Hey, this is the moment they've all been waiting for. This is the sound of alternate.
I had to get Chris in to show him. Chris, come and listen to me alternate remix.
alternate. In front of me, all I can see is an absolute mass of bodies. People are dancing on the top of cars. They're going mad.
Yes, Junglist Phil, nice one, mate. My remix of Evaporate coming out soon. Again, shout to Mark Archer. Legend. Right, straight out of that into this one. Thanks for that. Yep, move the bit. Good shout. Again, that Mirage sampler, that string there, sounds rough. Again, just try new bits out. Made this one a couple of weeks back. Speed it up a bit.
And remember, mate, no sweet boy rhythms.
Can't go wrong with a 4/4 on it, can you? And throwing them in. More Amiga business. I think this is the first one I'm going to play that's been released. My new EP, Amiga Power. Check it out. And time to bring the Dysons out. Where's the Hoovers? Come on. Another new one. The Hoover from Vancouver, yes. Right, I've got a couple more to play. And then we'll get Jay and Chris in. Do I call him Chris or do I call him Lunacy? Fair enough. Yes, Rob. Cheers, mate. I think I've nearly done an hour of unreleased stuff. Let's go. And I got one more to play after this. This one's called Boyaka. Out last week on M4. Part of the Amiga Power EP. Let's go. Am I going to be playing these at nightclub? Yeah, definitely. Come at then. Every time, me lad. Yeah, Adam. Got quite a few stars. Keep an eye out for releases on M4 though. So much to come. Right, okay, last one for myself. Full unreleased set. This one a little bit slower, a bit ravey. Let's go. What's it called? Drive Me Crazy. Next up, we got Lunacy. Jay Cunning in the building. Roughneck. No worries, mate. Thanks for listening. Hands in the air, it's a stick up.
Similar to a train wreck. The impact is similar to a train wreck.
to the corner, me and mile. When it come to hardcore lyrics, the top of the pile. We're hard to the corner, me and mile. Lyrically, we're conscious and we're versatile.
The impact is similar to a train wreck. The impact is similar to a train wreck. The impact is similar to a train wreck.
Check one, check one, check one, check two. Now, before we get started, can we have a little bit of a round of applause for Pete effing Cunning? It's over there, yeah, the red dot. I always look at the speakers for some insane reason, but I've also looked at that speaker and I found myself talking to that going, Jay, that's a speaker. All right, 1 2 1 2. Hold on. Right, is that working?
I don't know. Yeah, it is.
Woo. There you go. All right, nice. I
feel too tall. Look, I'm like that guy in. I'm like that guy in Police Squad. Just a banana peel will fall down.
Just move right into the corner.
I'll go and hide over here. I can just do this thing.
Should just get you a chair. That would be easier.
I know. I'm old enough. I need one. A little rocking chair.
Stand by.
Uh-oh, that's bad. Jay's disappeared and he's left me. So what I will do is I will fumble around a bit in an embarrassed sort of way. Show you my... Oh, I have to show you. No. Look, we've got Night Force kazoos. So if we run out of music, I can just kazoo you some music. Who needs a rave when you've got a kazoo?
Now, where were you when Production House were going through all that licensing problems?
They could have done with me, couldn't they?
Go on, that's your
Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. I can re-record it for you.
All right, so we are here warming up for Nightclub 2.
Yes. Yes, and that's a good analogy considering how hot it is in here.
We've got two fans, literally. There's one other side of you, so hopefully that's doing the job. Someone put a comment earlier saying it's 17 days' time. I was like, that's mad. Yeah. So I can't believe.
Are we allowed to swear?
You can do what you want.
I'm like, fuck. Actually, yeah, it reaches that point when I found we're planning Nightclub 1. I was like in panic mode for most of it, and then about 3 weeks before it started, then I was in real panic mode. But it's like, it's the small things. It's like, oh, do we have those things you put around your neck? What are they called? How do we get them? Who makes them? Where do I get them from? Where do you get the string from? We need some of those. And you start going through all these minute things, and none of them are really important on the great scheme of things. But if you haven't got them, it's a problem.
It's like planning a wedding, basically.
That's right, and I've had 3 of those. I don't want to do another one.
Fair enough. So how are you feeling about Nightclub 2? Is this a bit like, the second child? It's like, your second kid's much easier.
It's, well, it's nice because Nightclub 1 was so successful.
Yeah.
Which means you have a little bit more confidence because, really, Nightclub 1 was idiotic. By any standards, like, right, I'm going to do the first rave I've ever done. I will do it at Scala. Everybody I told that to was like, seriously? You're not going to do like a little club for 200 people first? You're going to do one for like 1,000 people as your first club? But I kind of felt like we could do it. I don't know why. It wasn't arrogance. It was just sort of I have this sort of insanity where I'm just like, this is a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Surely everybody else will think it's a good idea.
Why not?
And then they did, so that was lucky. So with Nightclub 2, I'm not confident, although I am a bit because we've sold loads of tickets, but I'm not like arrogantly confident, but I did feel a little bit less worried because I've done it once. And Scala are absolutely brilliant, by the way. Like, I went in as a total noob, and the only reason they took us on, because they don't normally take on noobs, is Chris from Isotonic, Orange. He recommended us. So they were really nice and they were really helpful. And I said to them, like I do with any new venture, I say, just treat me like an idiot. Tell me everything you need that I need to do, and I'll do it. So they were great. They were fantastic people to work with.
Yeah.
So with that side of things, I'm pretty confident. The tickets are sold. The club's really nice. We organise. But it's still all the little things like, how's Messiah's PA going? How's the secret PA going? Do we have, we need keyboard stands this time round. Do we have them? So like we've been scouring Facebook to buy second-hand keyboard stands and stuff to give away on
I tell you what, if you haven't got a keyboard stand for Asen, I'm pretty sure me and Pete we'll just go on, and he can just stick his keyboards on our back.
We'll hold it for you, Mr. Asen, sir.
I'm going to say this moment again because Pete and I had a few moments, didn't we, when we with Asen, right? And he was playing, and we were just like, I don't really dance. I'm not a dancer. I'm much more comfortable this side of the decks than I am the other side. But we were bopping around the stage, and I said to Pete, if he plays Trip to the Moon Part 2, I'm literally going to lose it. And within a minute, I was like, no! So we were having the time of our life, and bless him, Asen came up afterwards, after the little side room, and me and Pete were just like, that was amazing. He's like, oh, did you like it? He said, I looked over at you and I saw you guys laughing. I thought you were laughing at me. And we were like, no.
There were smiles of joy.
Yeah, they were literally childhood dreams, boy dream smiles just coming out.
But he's like that. Asen is so humble and nice. Like, you'll I'm sure I've told you before, but when he sent me his new version of Trip to the Moon, it came out of nowhere. He was like, oh, I've just done this. And I'm like, what do you mean you've just done this? Like, you've just, like, one of the most important tracks in our entire scene, and you've just done a new version. You're sending it over to me like, oh, this thing happened, as if, like, it's nothing. And whereas for me, it's one of, like, I would say it was a defining moment in my career because I was the first person to hear a new version of Trip to the Moon. And it was completely unexpected. I was looking after my 5-year-old who was, like, 3 then.
Yeah.
And I was just like, stop everything. Sorry, it doesn't matter if you're eating your own diaper. I now have to listen to this because it's Trip to the Moon. But yeah, he's like that about everything. Like when he sent me Opus,
right,
like that new tune, he was like, oh, this is one of the tunes I scrapped. I'm like, why? Well, this is so good. But he just, I think a lot of the greatest musicians and artists in general, they're not really focused on, like, they do their music and then they just move on to the next thing,
Right,
and they're
yeah.
interested in music and they're interested in it. They're not really interested in all the crap that goes around it.
Yeah.
You know? And so, yeah, I mean, he's just one of the nicest people.
Yeah.
Just one of the nicest people at all that I've ever got to work with.
And
So.
I'm very happy that he's coming back again, honestly.
Me too. I mean, I wasn't gonna. Like, originally I thought, well, we're doing part 2. We can't have Asen back. That's a bit mad. But it was a funny thing because I had been... This all links together. I had been trying to get hold of Messiah for a very long time.
Yeah.
Since well, always really. Since
Yeah.
when I first did Night Force, I didn't have the courage to call people like Messiah and try and find them. And then they kind of disappeared and time went past.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to find them, and in the end, it was Junior that managed to get me in contact with them. They're difficult to find because one of them has a very common name. So if you look for him, you find 5 million people, and the other one has a very uncommon name. And if you look for him, you find one person, and it's not him, because neither of them are really on social media.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got in contact with them, and then of course I was doing Night Force Part 2, and I thought, well, if we can get Messiah, we should call it the Second Coming, because that's funny, isn't it? It's suitable and funny. So once there, I was like, well, if we're going to have the Second Coming, we can now have Asen come back.
Yeah.
And everyone will think, oh, that's why it's called the Second Coming. So now you've got like a double joke. You've got Asen come back. I did try and find a third thing that we could mix into that, but I couldn't find a third person, so it could be like 3 Second Comings. But
well,
yeah, so I definitely wanted Asen's back, but I was a bit worried it'd be like, it's us again, doing the same thing again. You know,
yeah,
I
but
don't
also
like
I just think I've never seen Asen live ever, and I don't think a lot of people, practically everyone I spoke to hadn't.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad for everyone that had missed out.
Yeah.
And I've literally mentioned it at least once a month since last September.
Yeah.
So I am very happy that he's back.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I definitely don't get me wrong, I definitely wanted him back, but when you're releasing records or doing a show, I think it's very important. Like, I kind of go, but I've told you before, but there's that old phrase from, I think it's Brian Eno, whatever worked last time, don't do that again.
Right.
Because otherwise you get stuck doing the same thing. So I don't mind doing the same thing a few times, but I do think it's important once you find like a thing that really works well, if you rinse it, then it eventually just gets tired.
Yeah.
And then you're done.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that to happen with Nightclub, like, you know. But of course, if we do part 3, we'll probably have Asen back again. No, I don't know.
It will be Asen's Trip to the Moon Part 3, and there's definitely something in there. But talk to me about, because the flyer idea is genius. I mean, there's reveals and people do stuff for nights all the time, but no one actually commits to printing a flyer with a load of blurred out stuff and the things on it. So I love the fact that there's that stage thing, there's these little clues behind it. What was the idea behind that?
I just thought it would be funny. Almost my entire career, everything I do starts off with, this would be funny. And I don't really, like, I didn't ever, see, I jump into things, I think, right, we'll do an event, and then I work out how to get the Scala, and I think, okay, and I know nothing. I don't know how to do the adverts. I don't know who do we advertise with? How do you advertise an event? How do you do a flyer? Who presses a flyer? Do we need a flyer?
What is a flyer?
So I have no idea. So I tend not to. What you should do, what a professional would do, is look around at other flyers and go, this is how a flyer's done. But what I do is I go, I think this would be funny for a flyer. And then I just go ahead and do that, and I hope everybody else enjoys it. And so far, that's worked out quite well.
I think it has.
But my reasoning behind all of this is that if it doesn't work out well, it's fine, because I still thought it was funny. So
it's a good fallback, isn't it?
You know what I mean? Like, I win either way in that case.
Just see lunacy at the bank. Well, I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny. I know we now owe you £5 million, but it was a good joke.
Best joke ever.
We thought it would just be fun to do the names, and I also think it's kind of boring if it's all just like we've got 2 surprise acts.
Yeah.
And
I still can't believe there's still 2
that we're not going to give away until the night, and both of them would be headliners.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to do a surprise act where it's John from Worthing, and
he's a pretty good DJ.
Yeah,
though,
he's
give it
great.
that.
He's a good mate of mine, and he's playing. Ta-da! Like these two headliners, you will know of them. And you will love one of them, and the other one you'll be like, oh yeah, them. And you'll be like, So I just think that's a fun thing to do, and I have a plan for the next one where we do something completely different again. I don't know if people might steal the idea. I should probably keep it quiet.
Yeah, tell me
But
afterwards.
we're going to do something completely different that no one's done before, and it'll either work or it'll be a disaster. But either way, again, it'll be funny. So
Nice.
you know.
Well, I don't blame you for keeping those two secret, I'm sure. And they'll be revealed on the night, right?
Yeah, one of them will be you'll actually know they're playing, and the other one you'll only know their time slot, and you won't even know who that is until they actually play.
Oh, okay. This is mystery business.
I just think, again, I want to keep things interesting.
Yeah.
I get bored.
Yeah.
My whole career is it's probably bad for my career as well, because I just start doing well with a certain style and then I'm bored and I go do something else. But that's just the way I'm built. So
All right, so Nightclub 2 is coming up on the 9th of September. There are still some tickets left. So I'm looking at the screen. Look, I just told you where the camera was and I still don't look at it.
Screen, yeah.
There are still tickets left. Nightclub.com. We are going to play some tracks that have been inspired by you picking certain artists of the lineup. So,
just before I do that,
yeah.
Hi Wilder, hi Phoenix. You should be asleep.
Yeah.
Sorry, my kids are watching.
And hi Cindy.
You shouldn't be asleep. Keep
You should be.
looking after the kids.
I bet, bless her, she's still probably packing records.
Yeah, probably. We got the box set for Asen's latest box set in, and there's records everywhere. The whole house is full of records. We basically said to the kids, do you want to make a fort? Because we've got one. We've got one made of records. Don't push that wall, it'll fall on you.
And no drinks.
Yeah, no drinks. Yeah, so one of the greatest things about Nightclub, what I really like about it, and really running the label as well, is I get to ask people who I really want to see play. So for me, for example, having Messiah as a headliner, I mean, that's just brilliant because I love Messiah. I've loved them since the beginning of when their first releases came out. I embarrassed them no end by banging on about it when I first spoke to them. I had their Prince of Darkness record, which came out on Deja Vu, and I saw Hype play that at Berwick Manor, and he played it back to back, and that's when I first started DJing and learned to do back to backs with it's got these little bleats up. They will tell you that's not their best record, but I always loved that track. Yeah. And any DJ like you or Pete, we've been to so many raves. There's not that many records you remember a time, place. I can list. I remember Shades of Rhythms, Eden track. I remember NRG, You Never Lost His Hardcore.
Yeah.
I remember Terminator. Yeah. I remember, there's a few things I remember. Prince of Darkness is one of the ones I remember. I was at Berwick Manor. I remember looking over the turntables and watching Hype doing back-to-backs and then just talking to his MC as if it was nothing because he's so good at it. He's doing all this scratching. It's like he was with GQ.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, can you get me a drink? And I'm like, amazing. So, yeah, so having Messiah play is a really big thing. And, they're making new material. They've got some box sets coming out. Some box sets. One or two. Because they've got a lot of back catalogue and they're making new material.
Yeah.
And so I want to play...
They're making new stuff. That is very interesting. Because obviously they've done the remix of Asen as well.
And listen to this. If you want to know how clever some of these people are, I could never do this. They hadn't had a studio set up for nearly 20 years.
What?
No, haven't been making any music. Both of them have real jobs where people found out they were ravers. That's not ideal because they're in the professional area of life, So they didn't have a studio. So to make that remix, when I said, do you want to remix Asen, which they actually asked, they were like, as a side note, if you ask somebody, do you want to remix Asen, nobody says no.
Yeah.
The only people that actually said no said, I can't do it yet. And those two people were Zinc and Andy C.
Wow.
And both of those were like, I would love to do this. I just can't do it right now. Can I come back to you? They haven't, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to remix Asen. So anyway, Messiah said they wanted to do it, but they didn't have a studio. They had to buy a studio and then learn how to use Logic and everything else after 20 years or 25 years just to do that remix. And you listen to the remix and you'd think those were people that are still in the studio from decades.
That is absolute bonkers.
Yeah, if that was me, I'd be like, yeah, I'll leave it.
That is commitment. That is.
Yeah, so that's a pretty amazing thing to do, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're making new material, and they're actually playing some of the new material on Nightclub.
Nice.
I've heard their intro, and they were very keen when I signed them. They said, they had a similar thing to me back in the day with Smarties. We signed to Warner Brothers or whoever, and they were like, "Oh, can you make ballads?" And we were like, "What?" And they had a similar thing where they signed to, I don't know if it was Warner Brothers or who, but they signed to a big label, and then they were asked to make different music to what they made, which is why they did things like I Feel Love, and then there's a few others that are a bit softer.
Yeah.
But what they really wanted to do was stuff like There Is No Law. So they said to me, oh, can we carry on as if it's like There Is No Law? And I was like, absolutely. That's what I want. I love that tune. So yeah, that's the first one that I would choose to play.
All right, nice. So let's hear it. Messiah, There Is No Law.
And then I will talk over it and ruin it for people and tell you why it's so brilliant.
Here is 1999. The gang-controlled areas have become known as free fire zones. The police will not enter. There is no law. There is no law.
Okay, a few interesting things about this release. I did a set a few years ago where I rebuilt the whole old school tunes just to see if I could. It's all part of history. I couldn't rebuild this because of the noise. You'll hear it. It's a Messiah trademark. It comes in every now and again, and it's from an opera. I just love the layered beats and the noise.
There is no law.
The police sirens and the chaos. It constantly changes. Like they bring in samples from all over the place. Here it goes. See, you can't rebuild a Messiah tune if you don't have that sample.
1999.
I tried.
The gang-controlled areas have
It was funny rebuilding other people's tracks. Some were quite easy, some were not easy. And then what's this? Like, I just don't, all these weird things that are just thrown in. There's very few artists that manage to take weird stuff like that and just make it work. You know, Hyperon Experience is another one who can do it. I brought Time Stretch in to play. He uses a duck noise and it doesn't sound stupid. You just listen to it and go, yeah, that's fine. If I put a duck noise in a tune, people are like, why did you put a duck noise in a tune? No, nor do I. I always say you don't know the names, wait, you're selfish. Or they might be talking about shellfish. But this is not one of my favourite bits. Something I've always loved about hardcore is the randomness. Like, so this all goes along, everything's fine. Yeah, here it comes. I absolutely love this song, it makes the whole tune for me. Oh, there's something burning over there. Brilliant. Where'd that come from? The news? I don't know.
I mean, that's basically every drum and bass tune now, isn't it? There's loads of like kind of these random samples that are thrown in before the drop.
I just love it. You know, there's something burning over there. Oh, is there? Oh, there's something burning over there, Pete. Better watch out.
Oh, wait, it's me.
Anyway, yeah, so. There's a lot of good old school and jungle, but one of the things I miss is the maniac type hardcore, you know? The automation used to do, that the sorcery used to do, that Messiah used to do, where it's just, like one of the artists we've signed, Renegade Bob Ross, he does a similar thing, where it's just bonkers, like bonkers hardcore. I just love that stuff.
Yeah, that's them.
Hit the Decks. If you didn't have Hit the Decks.
Oh, God, what was it? Yeah, number 2, I think it was.
It was the SL2 one, wasn't it? Or was it Slipmat? I think it was SL2.
Oh, yeah. You got Chrome and Time, SL2, everyone on there, mate.
That's the one.
Hit the decks.
It was kind of basically what Dave Charlesworth was doing with the Energizer tracks, right? All right, so that was track number 1, which was Messiah, and we're going to go for track number 2. Would you like to introduce it?
Yeah, I mean, this Hyperon Experience aren't actually playing at this one because I wanted to keep it interesting and have different people each time. But Alex Hyperon Experience is one of my inspirations musically. Him and NRG and Asen are probably the 3 that are most inspiring for me, and probably Alex is the most expiring because expiring sounds like he died. Is the
Exterminate him at zero range.
It's the most inspiring because in almost all old school or rave, if you're a producer or stuff, you listen to it and you go, oh, that's that stab from here. or that's that break from here. But you listen to old Hyper on Experience and you go, like, all of it. So, and I mean, another thing that I used to love about his tracks was sometimes the best bit came in at 5 minutes in. All the rest of it was good, and then the best bit happened, you know? There's a sort of epic scope that a lot, you know, it's like a cinematic in a way. Like all this, you got the thunder, and, you know, and
I give you the future.
all of this stuff. Even now, it sounds unique, but back in the day, there was nothing that sounded like this, you know? Nothing at all. And all the samples in it, I don't know where that came from. This was designed to trick the ear. I mean, and I heard that they just used to flick through television and radio and just record snippets of things. And like just record it all. I mean, I don't know if that's true. I should ask Alex, but I almost don't want to.
Trick the ear.
You know?
Keep the mystery.
It was designed to trick the ear and to startle the audience. It was designed to trick the ear. Trick the ear.
So look,
trick
immediately
the
the
ear.
stab pattern. What noise is this? Come on.
To startle the audience.
It sounds like it's like kind of Pac-Man,
Kind of.
but not Pac-Man.
No. And again, I saw a little thing about how he did this, changing it on the sampler. In a way, he had a S1000 or S3000, and he was showing me on the screen. He showed what he did, and I was like, I did not know the sampler could do that. I used that sampler for 4 years. Sorry, and this bit, look. None of this makes sense. You wouldn't do this in a tune, like... I know this so well. So, like, every little piece is just so clever. Like, every bar, he paid attention to every bit. No one did that at that time. He was paying attention to every bar, every sound. See, look, this is what I'm talking about. Nobody else could get away with putting that in a tune. Even this. Sorry, I can't. But I'm always
You do it.
taking the break sound, the break vocal, and just playing it up and down the keyboard. Nobody did that. And then another stab noise. What's that? Like, you know, and I just. And if this was just a one-off, it'd be amazing. But most of his stuff's like that. Like, you listen to it and you're like, I don't know what breakbeat's in this.
Yeah.
I don't know where this sound came from. And I love it because it gives it a sense of an alien release, like somewhere else, you know? Much as I love, like, all the Amen stuff and the things that people do with jungle, and the Amen break obviously is fantastic, this tune has all the energy with whatever break that is. And I don't know what break that is, you know? To buy the shit out of that sort of thing. I do realise I've ruined it, but if you don't know this tune, then you'll have to go and buy it.
Coming soon on a box set near you.
There's loads of them, all in a row. He did like him and I always forget the other guy's name. Like they just did one after another, interesting, unforgettable, unusual tracks. I'm always impressed. If I ever get stuck in the studio, I'm just like, right, well, let's listen to Hype on Experience, and then feel bad about myself because I can't do that. Anyway, so that's. I mean, you know, I probably should have chosen. See, this is the reason I will never be hugely successful, because I get distracted and I end up advertising a track from an artist that isn't actually at nightclub.
Well, it was also, you know, it's also a bit of a lunacy slash, you know, nightfall slash nightclub, you know.
I think normal advertising is boring. It's much more fun just to have fun. So let's flick on to another genius. We've already touched on it, but Asen. So a lot of people, if they said, what's your favourite Asen tune, you might say Trip to the Moon 2, and you know, Trip to the Moon 3. These are all brilliant tracks, Life and Times of a Roughneck. But I want to know, and I wonder, will Champion become one of those classic tunes? Because for me, it's currently my favourite Asen tune, and it has been for a while.
Yeah.
It's one of his new ones, and Asen has a different kind of genius. I mean, all these people has a different kind of genius to Alex Hyperon. Alex is technical in a way that is beyond belief.
Right.
Asen's more simple, but it's so perfect. Not a single thing is wasted. There's no extras. And everything is just absolutely perfect, with the result that he makes tunes that sound like they've always been there.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you hear a new Asen track and you think it feels like it's always been part of the rave scene.
Yeah.
And I just think Champion is a perfect example of that. It's just perfect. And again, it's the little things that count. This tune would be perfect anyway, but the little voice is gone. Little noise. Sorry, I can't do it because it's a sample. But there's a little noise that comes in that just makes Now, if I was a good DJ, I'd know how to load this. Let's try it again, shall we?
And there we go.
There we go. What a terrible state of affairs. There we go. And then the volume. Brilliant. You can see all this and more at Nightclub.
I'll be on all night in room 1. Always does the damage.
By the way, Paul, if you sample me at all, Paul Bradley is one of my, I'm going to call him staff, he's one of my best friends, but he also works for the label. And he loves sampling me and then embarrassing me by it. I once used the word girth, and whenever I watch his show, he starts scratching that over everything.
Paul, I should
On
expect
it
a
goes.
final version delivered to me by Friday. Definitely in time for Nightclub 2.
So anyway, totally clever this track. Like, clever in execution. And it's one of those tunes, I knew this was going to be big because the first time I played it out, we went, this. Like, the beat's already tearing, the music's wicked, it's that little... Just wicked. Also, I don't know how he gets his drums like that. Like, he can take the breakbeat you've heard a million times, and it's just better when he does it. You've got a hair on your chin.
Damn, I've been growing that for weeks, Chris.
Oh, I'm
Actually,
sorry,
months.
sorry. Years. Yeah, so Asen is going to be there, and he's going to do a meet and greet, so he will meet people, you know.
How does that work? Do people win, or is it just as general?
No, he's just going to come and hang out downstairs. He'll sign things and talk to people and that. He's really nice, so if you tell him how much you love his music, he'll be embarrassed for the whole night. But, you know, he's just a great guy, and it'll be nice for people to be able to meet him.
Yeah,
you know?
no, he's an absolute star. Absolute star. I'm looking forward to catching up with him for sure.
Oi, John Morris, Terry, XB, I see lots of people I know. Probably should have done some shout-outs. John Morris buys absolutely everything we put out. He's one of our top customers.
Big up yourself, John.
Very nice fella. DJ Terrace recently signed to the label. Stefano is on the label, of course. Mr. Buzz, he helps out at all the events. It's so nice. I'm surrounded by just brilliant people.
Out to all the Night Force crew.
Let's see what else can I play. There is a VIP on the box set, and the VIP is excellent, but honestly, I just, ever since I've heard Champion, that's just a tune I just keep playing. You know, and I don't have as much time as some people might expect. I'm quite busy a lot of the time. How do I get this? There we go. Okay. So for me, if I'm playing, I find that's one of the best ways to tell if a tune is really doing it for me, is if I play it and I go, that's good, and then I play it again, and then I find myself playing it a lot. Yeah.
I remember speaking to you. I think I spoke to you about a day after you got champion, and you were very excited by it. Very.
Yeah, like I just, because you instantly hear it and go, oh, that's a tune.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some tunes you just hear, and go, oh, that's a tune. There's no question about it. You're instantly like, yeah, I love that. So, yeah. I'm sure Ethan will be so embarrassed now. He's probably like...
He should be proud. He makes absolute gems of tunes.
He sure does. Another, again, so Messiah and Asen are both playing on the night. And, of course, the house crew. I've got to know Floyd over the last few years. He's another absolutely top
Absolute
bloke.
Don.
House crew, I absolutely love their music. My friends probably won't feel the same way because I used to practice scratching with the Keep the Fire Burning vocal.
Ah, yeah.
And I wasn't very good at it. So a lot of people had to listen to me do terrible scratching. All my friends would come around and we'd all hang around in my room. And it got to the point where they would just be like, oh, stop. Just stop. Just play the record. Honestly, I know you saw DJ Hype do it, but he's better than you. Stop doing that. So, yeah, I always loved Keep the Fire Burning. And I think, there are certain things in the rave scene which have just become part of the lexicon. Cut the mid-range, drop the bass is just... there's probably been events called that. Everybody, you can go to any rave and say cut the mid-range, they're going to say drop the bass straight away afterwards. It's just part of the cultural thing now.
Do you know what? I've got to give a shout out to Kimberly. Kimberly is, I don't know if she's still in the chat. Kimberly flew. She's got a family. She lives in the US. She's never been to England before. She bought a ticket to Nightclub last year, flew over on her own, stayed for 10 days, and she came and wore a T-shirt that said, cut the mid-range, drop the bass. And I introduced her to Floyd because she's absolutely in love. So I'm going to make sure that you get to meet Asen and as many people, Kimberly, for this next one. She's coming over again.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I am actually kind of humbled, and I never quite know what to do because people message me and say, oh, I'm coming over from Australia. I'm coming from Japan. I'm like, are you mad? Like, I'm really pleased that you are. Don't get me wrong. I'm really pleased that you are. But I just, because I'm just me and I'm just doing this thing. So and I think that's how Asen feels when people talk to him about music, and probably you guys as well. We just do our thing because we love doing it.
I think it's also, we are sport for choice here, right? Like I put up that flyer thing for tonight, just saying, nightclub warm-up sessions, Lunacy, Pete Cannon, Jay Cunning, and someone goes, in Australia, that would be an absolute for the headlining lineup, and you guys are just having a little warm-up show.
I suppose it would. I suppose we are. I haven't really thought about it like that. Yeah. But I do love it.
Aussie tour, we'll have some of that. Aussie promoters,
yeah,
knock.
I'm up for that. I can tell you embarrassing. Actually, I can tell you a good embarrassing story if you like, and it actually links with this. So, I don't think this has been played anywhere before. As you guys know, Jimmy J and Cruelty are playing, and we do the Legends series on Night Force, and Floyd very kindly let us remix We Are Hardcore. So this is a Jimmy J and Cruelty remix of We Are Hardcore. Now, I know it's not as good as the original. That's okay. It just has to be good. It doesn't have to be as good as the original. So I hope it's good. I'm really proud of it. Me and Jimmy like it, and it's in our classic style. So, but We Are Hardcore, Keep the Fire Burning, Euphoria. I mean, it's just tune after tune. Floyd is another one, and his style morphs and changes, but it's always just classic. So anyway, I'll play this for a bit, and then I'll tell you an embarrassing story about me and Jimmy J. You'll love that. Talking bollocks. Yeah. It was brilliant. It's hard to do. I rebuilt this, and it was only when I rebuilt it that I realised the original uses maybe 8 different breakbeats. You just don't notice. You don't notice until you try and rebuild it. It's a very clever track, the original. Ours isn't as clever. So the only, it's not even a criticism. The only thing I didn't like about We Are Hardcore is that the remix of We Are Hardcore piano is so excellent. So we thought, as we're doing it, Jimmy felt the same way. So we were like, well, why don't we grab the piano from the remix and the rest from the original? Because those are our favourite things. Yeah. And now I'm thinking, I hope we did actually do that and I didn't dream it.
Oh my God, there's something burning over there.
There we go.
Yeah, I love the fact you've done that. That's nice to take those elements from either side.
You're like magic. You're like magic. You're like magic. You're like magic.
Shall I ruin it with a kazoo solo? We should get that Easy Rollers track. You know the one where it goes off with the criminal one?
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Da 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 da.
Bana, ba, ba, bana.
How to ruin every rave tune with a kazoo.
I mean, you pretty much ruined any tune with the kazoo, I think.
I know. But that's why we are giving away. This is a reason to come to Nightclub, as well as the stupid foam fingers. We've got Nightforce kazoos for everyone. Well, not for everyone, for about 100 people. These are expensive, and we had to put the sticker on.
I also think I don't.
Hard work that is. It says Kazoo Force, because Nightforce and kazoo.
You also don't want 900 kazoos going off in one space.
I don't know. It'd be quite funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for a minute.
For 1 minute.
It would sound something like a herd of giraffes being steamrolled.
Yeah, that would be bad. But funny. Definitely
Good shout to Mr. Ron Wells. Big up yourself, sir. Hope you're doing good.
See, Ron is another one who you message and you go, that tune was amazing. And he's like, oh yeah, that's nice. How are you today? You know, he's so lovely about everything and so talented and just like, you know, honestly, I sometimes think if you have got an ego, then you're probably compensating for the lack of skill a bit. Because the people I found who are the most skillful, they're just interested in the art, and it's just the way they're built.
Simple as.
All right, what else can we play? What else can we play?
So that was the Jimmy Jam Cruelty remix. So what's any idea when that's coming out?
No. It's very hard to judge nowadays because the pressing plants keep changing their times. I'm sending that to be cut soon, and at the beginning of the year it was like 9 months, and now it seems to be about 8 or 9 weeks. So that's one of the problems we've got at the moment, is that we've got records that we ordered 2 years ago arriving because of all the delays, and then we've got records we ordered 10 months arriving because over that period I still cut new records. And then I've got records arriving from 3 months ago because now the pressing plants are only taking 12 weeks to send things. So I think this week we are going to have, if you include the box set, which I do, I think we're going to get 15,000 records delivered just this week.
That's all right. You knock it out in an afternoon.
There's not a lot of space. And also there's a limit to how many records you can put out because people haven't got the money for that.
Right,
I also don't have the money for that. The pressing plant says, okay, there's your records, can you pay us? And I go, well, here's the thing. You might have to wait because I've got to sell a few of them first. So, yeah. There's that.
All right, so we're going to line up for next tune. So if you have just joined us, we're kind of going through Mr. Lunacy. He is going through some tracks inspired around the Nightclub 2 event, but also we're delving into kind of personal and Nightforce. Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's what's quite nice about this. I'm not only, like, you could say this was an advert for Nightclub, but these are just genuinely my favourite things. You know?
See, I've got great memories of this. My mate Roy bought this. There was ABC on the other side out of Romford. I remember this clearly because back in the day, like when one of my mates bought a record, for some insane reason, no one else was allowed to buy it. And everyone got very upset when he came back with this because we were like, no, I wanted that. I've got it now, so...
This is another one that just doesn't sound... I mean, it doesn't sound like anybody else. Like,
no.
Out of Romford, when they first started, there was a kind of... I brought Statue of Gold, which I know Bill Vega hates, and is his least favourite one out of the old New Decade stuff. But I love it. I'm going to play that just quickly and just so I can talk over it and show people this, because this is quite an obscure one, but it's almost, and I know some people don't like trance, but it's almost like trance before there was trance. There's a kind of... I don't know, there's a kind of mysticalness about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like anything else. And I know this isn't regarded as a great track, but I've always loved it. And I'll play Get the Message in a minute, because that's obviously the classic.
Yeah. We're going to send a quick shout out going out to Paul and Ben, big up, Bill, big up yourself, guys. I was on Canberra Beach last summer, and Paul just walked up to me and went, "What are you doing here?" Never mind that, what are you doing here? Totally random.
See, this is all, I mean, even back in the day, that kick drum, that sounds like a typical kick drum now, but back in the day it was like, what the is that?
Techno
but
business.
Listen. This whole...
It's all made of gold. It's all made of gold.
I did remix this. They asked me what I wanted to remix, and I said this, and he was like, why?
Still refuse to worship your idol.
So anyway, I'm not going to play you all of it because I know a lot of people don't, you know, they don't dig it. But I really like the fact that it's got this sound to it that is just unique. You know, it's kind of spacey and trancey before there was trance, before there was any of that. I just think it's one of those excellent records that somehow got missed. I don't know how. Meanwhile,
yes,
absolute classic that this is. And it's got that same thing, you know, with the choir sound and stuff like that.
It's the drums, just the rolling, relentless drums.
And that was another one. Again, back in the day, I remember when I started Night Force, and we had to, because there was no internet, so getting breakbeat drum samples was quite hard. You know, you could get them from Breaks and Scratches albums, but they were almost always shit because they were hip hop or they were electro and they weren't the right thing for hardcore. Even getting a decent Amen, you had to find a tune which had an Amen on it. This breakbeat, no idea where it was from, and we all wanted it. We all, like all the Night Force people, like, have you got the New Decade break? Nope. Don't know what it is, don't know where it came from.
Message.
Are you ready? No, because you didn't know anyone. Pete just asked if we swapped floppy disks and samples, but you didn't. It was hard because you didn't really know anyone. The only people I knew were Austin from Suburban Bass and Nick from Smarties, who both had their own studios. And Austin was really helpful. Like, Night Force wouldn't have got anywhere because for about 3 months I would phone Austin every couple of days and be like, how do you put a sample in a program? How do you edit a drum? And to his credit, he was super patient and helped me with all of that. But like, he just wasn't done. You couldn't like phone up Slipmat and go, can I have some samples?
Ready to move.
And that piano line, just brilliant, you know? No one did anything like it.
No. This bit is
it's this bit.
Jinx!
If my kids are watching, they'll love that. They're 5 and 7. They keep jinxing each other at the moment. But this is the bit.
This
like
is
the double
it.
up of the drums.
Yeah.
Like it was just madness, isn't it?
Exactly.
And of course, you couldn't mix this tune either.
No.
Just did shit like just like this and Automation and Eon, people like that. They just did stuff like, oh, that's only 3 bars and then 2 kick drums, and then we'll just stop and we'll stick this in here. And now there's a stab noise. Like that. Yeah. I just loved all that. I just loved the sort of irreverence on it, you know. We don't have to be in time.
I want to put that there then that there, and we're done.
See, it takes real skill. The further you go back in mixing rave music, the harder it is.
You got the message.
If you go back to mixing 90s, early 90s, God forbid you try and mix 1990s stuff, like the R&S, like Final Solution and Rising High. Oh, you need to be good to mix that stuff because that is all over the place. Things that start with strings and like bars missing, and, you know.
Even 91 is a big change. I actually remember Bill Vega put up a post probably about a year or two ago going, have you noticed that no DJ ever does a vinyl 91 set?
Yeah.
And I was like, right, I'm not having that. Right, next week's show's an all 91 vinyl. I was like, oh, bollocks.
And the thing is, the really good tracks from that era, I mean, I immediately think of House Is Mine and Pioneers of the Walk Through by Hypnotist. Absolutely brilliant tracks. Horrible to mix.
Yeah.
Horrible. Just really difficult to mix. You know, and a lot of it was like that. All the Eon stuff, absolutely brilliant. Horrible to mix. Other than Spice, which is great because you could scratch the bleach. I annoyed everyone with that too. So yeah, I mean, just classic tunes, aren't they, really?
So we catch New Decade in, where are they going to be? Room 2?
They'll be in room 2. I try to mix it up because what I like is to have a night where you've got... I want each set to be different from the last set for a start. I guess maybe this is OCD or something, but I get bored. So that's not OCD, is it? What is that?
Impatient,
yeah, that could be it. But I don't know, I just don't, for me, I don't want to hear a night of jungle. I love jungle, but I don't want to hear just jungle all night, and I don't want to hear a night of all cheesy hardcore. I like a bit of cheese, but definitely not. I don't want to hear a whole night of Gabba. I love Gabba, but after half an hour, I'm like, okay, I need to sit down.
Yeah.
You know? So I want to try and make it so the event constantly changes. You've got 91, and you've got some jungle, then you've got some like modern drum and bass, then you've got some proper hands in the air rave, then you're back to 1990, you know?
Yeah,
so it keeps being interesting.
Yeah, I like the idea of that.
And I like to have new as well as old, because I don't want to just hear old school. You know, I love old school, of course, we all love old school, but, you know, I only need to hear Far Out once.
Yeah.
And that's good, it's a classic tune, but I only need to hear it once. You know, I don't want to hear it from every DJ every hour. It's not going to work for me like that. So we try and keep it so that I never try and tell artists what to do. But if they ask, I say, don't play too many anthems, because that's boring.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you've got to do your thing. You know, everyone does their thing. Let's see what else.
Right, so what you got lined up for us for? That's...
This one? You want to try this one?
Oh, is it that one?
Yeah.
Alright, let's
I don't...
Alright, so I'll give you a little background on this one. This is one of the first tracks I ever made. The original started off as something I made with Austin in the Suburban Bass Studios back in the day. And I paid for the session. That's relevant because it's mine. And then I had to rebuild it and remake it in my own studio. But it's very much an Austin produced thing, and it was basically me trying to make You Never Lost His Hardcore, the original version. And that was Edge of Madness. And then on the flip side, I made this, and this one is Insanity Clause, and this was the first one I made on my own. By on my own, it means I sat in the studio and I called Austin and Nick from Smarties every half an hour for about 3 weeks, asking them how to do things. And it was quite basic and stuff, but it's always been a tune that it did pretty well when it came out.
Yeah.
And I've got this box set coming that's kind of turned into 3 box sets, but I'm not going to do them as box sets now. I think I'm going to do like a pick and mix thing where people can buy them, and if you like these ones and you get 5, you get a box with it.
Okay, yeah,
I think it'd be a different way of doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, I've got quite an extensive back catalogue, and I thought, well, I'm just going to selfishly get all my friends to make me look good. So one of my friends is Mr. Pete Cannon, so I asked him to remix Insanity Clause because basically Pete Cannon is annoyingly talented, but a very useful person to know because he can remix things which other people would struggle with, in that most people struggle. Like, I know for me, I have a kind of the pick. Like when I get a Nookie's tracks or something, I could ask Nookie, can I remix this? And he might say yes. He probably will. Yeah. Because he'll feel obligated. Actually, Nookie probably wouldn't. He'd probably say, no, Chris, get away from it. But, you know, for most of them, I could ask.
Yeah.
But I don't, because I look at it and go, I am not going to be able to do something special with that. But a few remixers, and Pete Cannon probably feel like I'm giving him too much flattery, but Pete is somebody who you can give a classic tune to, and he can do something great with it. You know, Alex Hyperon is another one who can do that. You know,
Yeah,
you listen
yeah,
to
for
his
sure.
remix of Champion Sound, and you're like I wouldn't want to remix Champion Sound. I mean, I would, but I wouldn't want to remix it and then put it out, because Champion Sound is both simple and classic, very hard to remix, you know. And if you listen to Alex's remix of it, you're just like, it keeps the essence, it sounds wicked, it's new, but it's old. That's a hard thing to do.
I think he did an absolutely phenomenal job with that.
Yep.
Every time I play that, it literally turned the place upside down.
Yeah, and Pete Cannon and Alex are both particularly adept at it. Like, most people can do it, but they seem to be able to do it easily, which is very annoying for people like me. You know, I just have to pretend I like them, but really I'm going, oh.
Oh, man, love
No, I love it.
Love
I love it. And so Pete very kindly remixed Insanity Clause for me, and this is it. Oh, this was real basic. I did this. I had an S1000, an Atari, an SY85 keyboard. That string is just a standard, one of the patches from it. Very, very basic stuff, the original. And I think I had a U220. I had the SH101, but I didn't know how to use it. That's what I used for the beats. Great job. I was enjoying it, but I was also watching Pete enjoying it. So I was just sitting here still while it's playing. We are actually going to repress the original, because this was Night Force 1, so I am going to recut and repress that at some point. It's been on the list for maybe 3 years or something to do, but yeah, it is planned to do. But I haven't cut this yet. It's just I've had a bit too many things to cut, and I don't like to put my stuff right at the top. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like as the record label owner, it's sort of like I didn't play in the main room on the first nightclub, because I hate it when people do that.
Yeah, but
you know,
at the top of the flyer.
It's my label, so I'm going to be the king. Like, I don't like it. It doesn't suit.
No,
Go on.
I was going to say, I couldn't find the sample for this, so I just said it, which was...
Yo, fuck it up.
Where did I get that from? You know, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a psych angle version. We sampled it. See, that was done as a joke. Yeah, because back in the day, it's also childish, but back in the day, there was like the whole Rotterdam style, and the rumor was they thought that their stuff was much more difficult to make than ours. And I was like, bollocks. Well, that was what I was like, because a kick drum is nice, but a breakbeat's hard work, you know? So I made Malice 1 as a joke, just to show that anyone could do that. And then it sold loads, and I thought, this is easy, and I made Malice 2, and it sold nothing. So turns out it wasn't that easy after all. Yeah, live and learn. So good. All love a bit of time stretch. I do realise for a lot of regular listeners, this is probably a bit of a cheesier selection.
No, it's not at all. Listen, I play everything. Everything gets played on this show. Pete gets played every week without fail.
Alright, so I will play something a little bit less on the happy tip, but also brilliant. So, Criminal Minds. Let's talk about Criminal Minds.
Yeah, let's do Criminal Minds.
So, I made a deal with Criminal Minds a few years ago where I signed their back catalogue and they made a bunch of new stuff, and then I cut it, and then, like many things, it just sat there and didn't get pressed because of all the disasters that went on. Finally, records actually arriving. I think one of them's arriving tomorrow. And of course, Zach from Criminal Minds is playing back-to-back with Dope Ammo on the night, so that's going to be fantastic. I love Coco, who I've known for a little while. Dope Ammo is just brilliant, and Zach is just like a proper character, really cool dude. So I know this is a classic. I know we've all heard it a million times, but I just want to hear it because it's just a tune.
Why not? And I've got to send a big shout out to Zach as well, because I got to chat to him for the first time on Saturday. What an absolute legend. Be up yourself, mate. Looking forward to catching up with you on the 9th.
And this is another one, like, cut the mid-range, drop the bass. Can't beat the system? Go with the flow. Because they were hip-hop, weren't they?
I love mixing this tune because it just builds so nicely, like so many nice elements come into it, and just that bass line just rides across the whole thing.
There was this track and what was the other one? The Nicky Finn one. We used this break, Some Justice.
Yeah.
And they both kind of define this break, and Blame, of course, he used it for one of his as well, didn't he? And it's like three massive classic tunes that just had this break and absolutely wicked. Yeah, they left that in, yeah.
What records are coming for Criminal Minds then?
Well, they have two new singles, which is ironic because they were cut in February 2022. So new is a relative term, but they are new for the general public, new music. Rocksteady EP and... crap, my mind's gone blank. This is the trouble with getting old.
Yeah, I think I've got that. Yeah, I think you sent me the Rocksteady EP.
Rocksteady EP and the other one that I can't remember offhand. B-Boys Taking Over.
Okay, nice.
Right. Those ones are long delayed. What should have happened, see the greatest plans of mice and men, what should have happened is we had the two singles and then an album and then some remixes. It was a nice little plan. It was going to go over a year and a half. Instead, these two records are going to arrive, and then the album's going to arrive, and then the repress is going to arrive, and the remixes, which feature Blame and Ron Wells, and I think Baby Kane. So it's a lovely.
Nice.
All of the remixes are superb. Yeah, I mean it's all just really, choice. So that's going to arrive, and again, I'm thinking we might have some fun with it because, like I said before, I get bored of things, so I don't want to just keep doing box sets. So we're going to get an outer box done, because now that we're getting 6 records at once, and then we'll do the same sort of thing. If you buy 5, you can have the box to go with it, and a USB as well.
Nice.
So we're just trying to get all that together at the moment, because those 2 records showed up after 2 years, and I suspect the other records are going to show up probably next week. So just kind of seeing how it goes.
Go with the flow.
And do you know what? Because it's so interesting at the beginning. This is one of the tunes that I would play all the way to the end, because you always wanted to get that last bit with a little bit of scratching and spats. You had to get that last bit in.
scratching's one of those things. There's a few things that I miss in old school, and Pete does them sometimes, and when I'm making an old school tune, I always think of it and then I go, nah, it's too much hard work, but I should do it more often. Scratching and reverse. People don't do that so much with reverse beats and things. It was a real thing back in the day at the end of the bar, just, yeah. But with the drums as well, people would just reverse the breaks and stuff. People don't do that so much anymore. I don't know. There was a reverse, wasn't there, on the Akai sample? You just press reverse and the sample was reversed. But it is quite a pain in the arse to get right. Because you've got to trigger it in the right place, and sometimes the breakbeat won't work and all that. But yeah, I love that sort of stuff. That and like the ending with scratching is just great, isn't it? So we got to the end of the tune. What should we do? Fuck it.
I remember one of my fondest memories of this tune. We were down at Plumstead in '92, and I can't remember whoever was playing. They were obviously trying to kind of go on a bit of a journey and going deep, and just people just wandering out. And then clearly he was like, you know what, screw this. Baptised by a Dove comes on, and everyone just goes, like, running back in again.
Here we go. Proper. Yeah, wicked stuff. Absolutely wicked.
Love
so, yeah, the new Criminal Minds stuff is absolutely superb, so I think people are going to dig it. You know, Ron Wells' remix and Baby Kane's remix and Blame's remix. I mean, you know, just all brilliant stuff. So
it's quite dizzying hearing all those names remixing Criminal Minds. To be honest.
I get too excited. You see, I just think because there's, you know, the way I work is I tend to trust my instinct. If I hear a track and I just think of a remixer who should go with it, and I'm just like, that'll work then. If my brain's already made the connection for me, you know, like sometimes it just does it for me. I'm like, okay, good, that'll work. And then I ask them, and if I'm lucky enough, they say yes. Occasionally they say no. I'm like, oh, go on, please. So Nookie isn't playing at this one. I love Gavin; he's brilliant.
So I reckon we've got two tunes we could squeeze. We could squeeze two tunes in.
All right. Well, I'm going to play this because I don't think anybody's heard this.
Damn.
Nookie has. We did the box set with him, History Part 1. We've only got about, I think, 20 of those left. It's done really, really well. Box sets always take a while to sell out.
Yeah.
So we're just getting Part 2 ready, which is Cloud 9, History Part 2.
Nice.
So it's got like Mind Bomb and all those good tunes on it. Yeah.
River Dance.
It's got a few of his ones that have never been released. Spellbound, that everyone asked me for. And he's also done a remix of Mind Bomb, which is one of my favourite ones. And because when he said, let's do this, I said, you got to remix Mind Bomb because I know it samples Casualty or something, but it's just great. I always loved it. Like, dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. So this is his new version. It's rather lovely. So I thought we'll play it. Oh, he's done it in an old school style, so that was nice.
Yeah.
People don't know, do they? See, Nookie is another one who don't sound like anybody else.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got like, there's a sort of, I don't even know how to describe it, but like a musicality to his stuff that I don't know if he is, but he sounds like he's classically trained. I don't know if he is or not. I've never asked him because I don't actually want to know. Like, I don't ask Alex how he does things or Ron how he do things because it's easy to see. Like, it's like the magician thing. I don't want to see the tricks. I want to just enjoy it as much as I can, you know?
Yeah.
So I deliberately, all the questions people think I would ask, I don't ask any of those questions.
Big up, Gav.
Yeah, he's a
belter,
top bloke.
mate. I mean, we're definitely going to have Nookie back for Nightclub 3. We tend to... It's difficult because I want to give everyone... Like, Nookie played Room 2 last year. Yeah.
And Nookie's obviously not a Room 2 DJ.
But I wouldn't consider... Like, I played that room last year. That is not a Room 2.
I know, the room kicked off, but, you know... The trouble I have with... Because I'm working with so many great people, is I get to do a lineup of all headliners in 2 rooms. But I try to make it all rotate. Like you played Room 2 last time. You're playing Main Room this time.
Yeah.
What's your name again? I can't remember. Ray Keith over here. He played. You haven't got the beard for it. Pete Cannon played the Main Room last time, so he's doing the second room this time. And Nookie played the second room on the first night, so he'll be playing Main Room on the third night.
Yeah.
You know? I like to just try and mix it up, and so that everyone gets to do Main Room as well as the other room. Smaller DJs as well. We got Jiminy Cricket, who's huge in America. Most people won't know of her in England yet, but she's a stunningly good DJ. She's genuinely one of the best DJs I know at all, no question. She can out-scratch and out-mix almost anyone, and she can play any genre, so she will blow your mind. So it's nice to be able to have her come over and play.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
I'm just thinking, Pete, me and you are probably lined up to do back-to-back in the Cloakroom for Nightclub 3.
I did think of getting you to do back-to-back, but then I saw somebody else did it, so. Also, I don't know, I'm always a bit hesitant with back-to-backs. The same as I've had to do a few, there's only like 1 or 2, but a few 45-minute sets, and I don't like those either.
Yeah.
I like to give a DJ an hour and to have them do their own thing for the most part.
Do you know, we've run out of time. Do you know
We're
what?
out of time?
Do you know what? We'll cut out on there. We'll go. What are you going to play for the last one?
I don't have anything good. I've only got rubbish tunes now. No, not really. I haven't really got anything that related to Nightclub here. I don't think. I'll play this. This isn't really related. I mean, it's Hyper on Experience again, but it's so good. I just want to play it. And a few people have said in the chat it's all a bit too cheerful, so this is less cheerful. Absolute genius.
Oh, mate, when you sent me this, I was like, this is off the back of hearing his remix of Champion Sound, and this blew my mind. I played this. Do you remember the video I sent of you? That night we did down in Bristol, after the thing, I played this as my last tune.
I've been trying to get Alex to do... well, I mean, I never like to tell DJs or artists what to do, because I think artists should be left to do their thing. But I did say to Alex, if you wanted to do an EP like Disturbance, I wouldn't be sad about that. You know, if you feel like doing some real dark stuff, I am down for that, you know, because, I mean, this.
Grab yourself a helmet. This is going to be a bumpy ride. Pure evil. Love it.
I am It is from the am-nothness that I come. And to it I always return.
You ready?
Hey, come here. So, look at us, guys. Look, see how our hair isn't the same. I went to the hairdressers today because I just look like a mess most of the time. I don't go anywhere. Who cares? But I went there and they said, "What do you want done?" And my hair was all messy, and I was like, "I know what would be funny. What if I got the same hair as Pete?" So I typed in Google. Pete Cannon hair. That's all I typed. I just typed Pete Cannon hair.
And it came up with a picture of me.
Immediately came up with a picture of Pete Cannon and his hair. So I showed the barber that, and this is what he did. Looks nothing like it. Absolutely useless. I don't know why I bothered.
It's the you need the hairdryer action.
And he cut it too short. My hair was long and messy. And then he covered me with this stuff, like he did my beard, which was weird and uncomfortable. And then he just like finished and he just sprayed this stuff all over me. And I got home and Cindy went like only a wife can do. So, like she said, you stink really badly. If we first met and you smelt like that, that would have been the end of our relationship. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't think it was a very nice smell, but whatever it was overwhelming and horrible, and I just wasn't impressed. All in all, didn't get a Pete Cannon haircut, and that would have been funny. I thought that would have been funny, but no. So I just got this kind of dollop on my head, and I just whatever. Luckily, I have a baseball cap. I did think it was funny that you could just type in Pete Cannon hair and immediately it comes up. Right. Just type in Pete Cannon hair, you'll see the picture. It's great.
Someone's created a collage, Pete, of all your haircuts.
Right, before I go, my quick embarrassing Jimmy Jane cruelty story.
Oh yeah, the Australia one, go.
So when we were touring Australia, we did lots of typical English people in Australia stuff, like going to the beach. I don't know if I've told, some people have heard the story anyway.
I thought you were going to say punching kangaroos.
Punching kangaroos and shrimps on barbies and all the other classics. So I go for a swim in the sea, and I'm out having a little swim. Jimmy's just sitting on the beach watching me, and I thought, I've had enough, I'll swim back. And I'm swimming along, not really getting anywhere though, just kind of staying in place and getting more and more tired. And eventually this super buff fucking lifeguard shows up in his Speedos on a
Baywatch floaty.
On a sofa. I wish it was a sofa. That would have been great. He showed up on a sofa. He came down from a helicopter on a surfboard, and he said to me, "You right there, mate?" And I said, "Well, no, not really." And he said, "Not getting anywhere, are you?" I said, no, I'm not. He said, "See those big red flags there and there?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "You know what that means?" And I said, "No." And he said, "That's a riptide, mate." He said, you can't swim in a riptide. That's why we have those big signs." And I'm like, "All right." And he had to rescue me, which Jimmy thought was the funniest thing ever. He absolutely loved it. He still brings it up. Well, I mean, he kind of flopped me onto the board and just It was very humiliating.
Mouth to mouth when you get back on the
No,
beach.
it wasn't that humiliating, but it was still pretty humiliating. You know, excellent. Typical Brit abroad. No awareness. No noticing that everybody's swimming here. Oh, I'm just going to go and swim over there.
Oh, it's nice and quiet over there.
Some nice
isn't it?
red flags to swim between. I'm sure that'll be fine.
Oh, that probably means the water's really hot. Lovely. I'm in.
Brilliant.
Nice. All right. So we're a little over time, but we haven't upset anyone, so I don't care. So I want to say thank you very much to Lunacy. Pick up yourself, mate. Thank you very much.
I'm so socially awkward. I can't do any of it.
And Mr. Pete Cannon, big up yourself, guys. Thank you very much for coming down. So don't forget, Nightclub 2, there are still, if you keep looking over there, there we go. Nightclub 2 is going to be on the September 9th at the Scarlet in London. Get yourself a ticket, because I'm telling you now, you will not be disappointed. Nightclub 1 was off the scale, and Nightclub 2 is definitely set to match, slightly beat it, with a colossal lineup. And there's still 2 people yet to be announced, and you're not going to be disappointed with any of them.
Thank you for having me, Jay.
Pleasure, mate.
Thank you for coming and joining us, Pete. It's been wicked.
Thank you very much. Nice. Right, guys, until the next time, we'll see you next Wednesday.